The following is a special presentation of Channel 4 News.
Whether you're planning your summer vacation or just catching your breath after a busy season at work, we all need a break to refresh our body and soul. Coming up in the next hour, we'll show you how hundreds are doing just that here at the Tennessee Fitness Spa amidst the natural beauty of Wayne County. You'll also meet some of the top experts in the country sharing new information and performing the latest procedures, helping people live longer and better. Plus, some extraordinary clinical trials are being conducted right here in Middle Tennessee, from autism to Alzheimer's, concussions to cancer. Hear the promising results and how you can get involved on this special Healthy for Life Summer Reboot. With dense trees, soothing streams, a natural bridge its neighbor, the backdrop of the Tennessee Fitness Spa is as inspiring as the changes it's launching in the lives of those who stay here.
And look at how I'm sweating. I never sweat.
Some 30 to 40 guests each week, seeking guidance, support, and education about how to reclaim their health.
I want to push the refresh button on life and get healthier, mind, body, spirit, eat healthier, live healthier.
Retired teacher Christy McDonald drove from California to spend 2 weeks at the spa with her sister.
It reminds me of when I used to go to summer camp when I was a kid.
3 meals, and you stay full the whole day, and it's less than 1,500 calories.
Juanita Sales-Lee of Huntsville, Alabama, had to try it for herself after her husband came back a changed man.
So they taught Joseph how to eat. They also taught him ways to control his illness better, and it stuck with him.
We spent 1 day as Tennessee Fitness Spa campers, which always begins on this machine.
And you don't want to touch these at first. You want to just arms down.
Guests had complained they weren't seeing enough progress, so the InBody gives you a baseline measurement of the numbers that really matter.
And so here's your results.
The interesting number is how many pounds of muscle do you have in your body?
Well, how many pounds of muscles do I have?
You have 54.7 pounds of muscle. You need a lot more pounds of muscle. Your weight, even though your weight's perfect,
it's fatty weight.
Yeah, your consistency is more towards the fat.
I don't like this interview so far. Our day involved a healthy breakfast, followed by a 7:30 group stretch and a 1-hour intense walk through the rolling hills.
See you at the next stop.
From there, our choice of workout in water
To the side of the leg.
or on land.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We chose 45 minutes of fat-burning spin class.
3.
Then it was butts and guts in the indoor gym,
Come on, get it.
followed by an outdoor obstacle course. No pressure, no judgment.
So you can try everything and feel comfortable with leaving if you need to leave or finish the class at your own pace.
We have people that come back year after year, and they become friends. They become like family.
Nancy Shaw and her late husband Joe opened the 15-acre retreat 95 miles southwest of Nashville in 1991.
If it gets too hard, start pumping it out.
Prices averaged $700 for a 3-night stay to $1,400 per week.
I just wish more people knew about it.
A new beginning to a whole new life in the heart of Tennessee. Now to a fascinating follow-up. A woman got sick, popped an over-the-counter painkiller, and landed in the burn unit at Vanderbilt Medical Center with burns to 40% of her body. The story prompted strong warnings about the dangers of acetaminophen. Donna Emily was vacationing near Bowling Green, Kentucky when she started feeling sick.
Felt a little puny, so I just thought I'd take a couple of Tylenol to help me sleep.
That simple act triggered this major reaction, burns to 40% of her body.
My eyes and face were swollen, and there was a rash all over my trunk.
The Fort Wayne, Indiana business owner was diagnosed with Stevens-Johnson syndrome. She was sent to the burn unit at Vanderbilt Medical Center, one of the few hospitals in the country with the expertise to treat Donna's condition.
You jump on the internet and you start Googling everything, and you try to find what it is, and that was pretty dramatic.
She's been there for more than a month, fighting to keep her eyesight, too.
He put amniotic membranes in her eyes. It has a great healing power.
Unfortunately, we don't know why a certain exposure at a certain time increases the risk for these types of blistering skin reactions. But what we do know is that they occur.
Dr. Buddy Creech at Vanderbilt says while Stevens-Johnson syndrome is extremely rare,
this isn't something that people should be worried about who are taking ibuprofen.
Sharing Donna's story serves a greater purpose.
It highlights that even something simple like Motrin, Advil, acetaminophen, that those can have side effects, and that we need to always be vigilant to make sure that if we see those symptoms, we can do something about it.
Her family hopes it will also prompt change.
I don't know if warning labels need to be beefed up on these over-the-counter drugs or what the answer is, but this could happen to anyone today.
Donna Emily continues to improve. Doctors warn anytime you take a new drug, a host of side effects can occur even weeks after taking it, so pay close attention. If you notice any kind of rash, call a doctor immediately. Concussion is the most common form of brain injury. According to the CDC, an estimated 3.8 million concussions happen here in the United States every year. Symptoms include headache, confusion, vision changes, slurred speech, and memory loss. And earlier this year, new evidence from researchers in Canada that those with head injuries were at least 3 times as likely than the average population to commit suicide. With such long-term effects, doctors want a more accurate way to test for concussion before players are put back in a game after a serious blow. And researchers at Vanderbilt may have an answer. 2015 was a football season that marked a dramatic rise in the number of player concussions, up 58% from 115 in 2014 to 182, the highest since it began tracking this data in 2012. With the help of Hollywood, we've also witnessed increased awareness of the concussion brain disease, CTE. The list of players who've died whose brains tested positive for CTE grows. Some doctors say there's no reliable way to know who will get it.
The honest truth is that we don't have a single tool to say that a particular athlete is either still suffering from a concussion or fully recovered.
But a new machine being studied at Vanderbilt may change that.
This is the first intracranial pressure monitor that exists in the world that does not require a lobotomy.
We think this has a chance to be a game changer, literally.
This is the HS-1000, a non-invasive portable device using sound wave technology that doesn't require any specialty training. It can potentially be hooked up to a tablet or phone, measuring brain function in real time using 2 specific parameters.
One is pressure in the brain, the other is blood flow in the brain. And we think that those are parameters that might be disrupted right after a concussion occurs. Obviously, we don't know that yet for sure. That's what we're studying.
If you got a concussion, you could hook them up on the sideline to this machine. It could give you a readout to say whether you had a concussion or didn't have concussions.
Neurosurgeon Dr. Alan Sills and his team at the Vanderbilt Sports Concussion Center are using the HS-1000 to study 50 healthy patients who've never had a concussion before and 50 concussed patients, mostly local student athletes, tested between 48 and 72 hours after injury. Patients listen to a 10 decibel tone for 15 minutes.
Put the earpieces in. One is a microphone and one's a receiver. The sound wave travels across the brain and it measures resistance.
The earpieces are connected to an Android-based tablet, programmed with software and algorithms.
Currently, we have to rely on the athlete's own report of their symptoms, what they're feeling. And sometimes athletes either can't express that or don't want to tell us the truth because they don't want to come out of the game.
Sills says his mission is to train coaches, teachers, nurses, and parents to diagnose concussions wherever they are. As for the recurring spotlight on concussion's devastating effects, he's urging everyone to balance fear with fact.
To date, we don't have any evidence from a scientific basis that having 1 or 2 or 3 concussions even is going to create long-term brain damage. We know that the vast majority of our athletes that do suffer concussion, that once they're diagnosed and they're treated, they can safely return to play, safely return to school, and don't have long-term sequelae or deficits from that.
If proven effective, the HS-1000 could show up at your child's school as early as 2017. Coming up, medication and psychotherapy are common treatments for clinical depression. But what do you do when they just don't work? More Tennesseans are turning to something altogether different and claiming life-changing results. And this Franklin mom kept her hair during chemo with a product used all over Europe. Now she wants to tell the world. Plus, new hope for those battling Alzheimer's. All when this special Healthy for Life summer reboot continues. Many who fight depression have tried multiple medications and years of therapy. Well, another major insurance provider has approved a treatment called TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation. It uses an MRI magnet like that in an MRI machine to wake up parts of the brain. That clicking sound is TMS at work.
It's just a light tap. It's not painful at all. It's not really even uncomfortable.
It means the brain is lighting up.
For me, the depression was just a kind of a loss of an interest in everything. I mean, it got hard to even get out of bed in the morning.
And research shows this magnetic stimulation is lifting clinical depression in patients who'd given up hope.
Going from nothing, no interest in anything, to having a life again. Oh, it's been incredible. It's been incredible.
It releases monoamines, the serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, but it also increases the connectivity in the neural system so that the limbic system is involved.
Since 2010, Dr. Scott West has treated more than 200 patients in his Green Hills office, most of whom had tried multiple medications with no success.
Why do you like this treatment?
It works.
Shotzi Bruner says she's living proof of it.
I've been medicated for depression for 40 years.
The former CNN anchor turned presentation skills coach tried TMS last year.
Because it is a gentle process where you build up a tolerance over these first few treatments. Some people read, listen to music. It's an easy thing to do. And you go about your day. There's no downtime.
Bruner says the series of treatments has changed her life.
When you're depressed, there's no hope. So to have this tool that's non-invasive, that's non-systemic, that can make you feel like you're really well, I can't say enough about it.
The most common side effect is mild discomfort at the treatment site. Most patients need 30 TMS treatments. They average $350 per treatment without insurance. As a child, Nicole Cyril was teased for the funny way she walked on her toes. Turns out it was something more serious, a genetic difference the doctor said would eventually cripple her. A few years ago, Nicole learned something else, that yoga could do what doctors say couldn't be done.
Half toe to toe, right, point.
A bar for balance is the only thing a little different about 44-year-old Nicole Cyril's yoga practice. But the writer and instructor is statistically unique. She has a rare disorder called Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, or CMT.
It affects from toe to knee and fingertip to elbow.
Her body produces a protein that causes the muscle in her legs to come away from the nerve. It's led to 12 surgeries so far.
Without the myelin, the nerve can't send the signal to the muscle. The muscle is not being fed, and therefore it atrophies.
It also causes the ankles to roll, which often requires more surgery. But 8 years ago, Cyril stumbled down a different path. She discovered yoga.
And the head neurologist over at Vanderbilt at the time, Dr. Jane Howard, she actually said to me, "You need to start telling me about this yoga thing you're doing. I might need to start prescribing it."
Her ankles got stronger.
So my left foot is heel toe, which is never in my entire life, and my right foot is not so much.
Cyril believes this is only the beginning.
The doctors say you can't do that we're just destined for wheelchairs and curled up fingers, but through yoga and some other holistic things that I've been able to do, there is calf growth, and the last time I went for a checkup on the 1 to 5 scale of muscle strength, I went from a 2 to a 3+. So it's getting better.
Cyril is now a certified yoga therapist and has opened her own hot yoga studio.
I've actually dealt privately with people with bulging disc, with insomnia, with depression, sleep issues. We have infrared heat, so it lessens inflammation, which is tremendous. Every illness, they relate back to some sort of inflammation.
She says Yoga Harmony on Charlotte Avenue is open to all abilities and disabilities.
So if you don't feel like you belong somewhere, you belong here.
A reality she continues to embrace, one breath at a time.
We all have stuff we deal with, right? So some are physical, some are mental, some are emotional. This is just mine, and that's okay.
Researchers say a new drug is on the horizon that slows the progression of Alzheimer's disease, and they're testing it right here in Middle Tennessee. It's a devastating diagnosis for which there is no cure, but researchers at Vanderbilt say there's a promising new treatment to slow the progression and possibly improve symptoms of Alzheimer's disease.
It's basically a drug that has been shown to have neuroprotective effects to prevent the early death of those brain cells that we're trying to preserve in Alzheimer's disease.
Vanderbilt is one of 50 clinical trial sites across the country testing the drug. Welcome news for patients and the people who love them, like Catherine Letterman.
If it slows down the progression of Alzheimer's disease, it's nothing short of a miracle.
Her husband Greg was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 2.5 years ago.
I was very proud of him because he said at the time, if there's anything I can do to help anyone who comes after me who has this insidious disease, I would be happy to.
Catherine says when Greg heard about the one-year trial, he readily agreed, and the benefits were instantaneous.
He now has hope. There is a huge importance to having hope with this disease because there's so very little of it. So just the fact that he is in the trial, knowing that at least he will help others, but also believing very strongly that it may very well help him. So he has a renewed enthusiasm for life right now just because he's in the trial.
The trial is a double-blinded, placebo-controlled study of the effects of a drug that prevents the early death of brain cells. Some participants will receive the drug in 2 different doses, others a sugar pill.
There are not plateaus with Alzheimer's disease. It's a steady downward move. So this would change our life and our hope for the future dramatically.
Dr. Acosta is looking for patients. If you know of a possible candidate, head to WSMV.com. Up next, can premature babies under 5 months survive? This family says yes, their son is living proof. How they're pushing for hospitals around the country to rewrite the rules. And why robots may be just what the doctor ordered to help children with autism communicate. And later, why Parkinson's patients are hitting the dance floor. Healthy for Life Summer Reboot comes right back. A recent study about preemies published in the New England Journal of Medicine is raising some serious questions. A small number of very premature babies are surviving earlier outside the womb than doctors ever thought possible. The study of thousands of premature births found that a tiny minority of babies born at 22 weeks who were medically treated survived with few health problems. So why then is policy in so many hospitals that babies born under 23 weeks aren't allowed to be resuscitated? A Middle Tennessee family says their son is living proof that policy needs to change.
1, 2, 3. All right.
James struggled to survive before he was even born. He weighed just 15 ounces at birth.
And we saw him go through distress. We saw them having to resuscitate him, and just every dip and peak in the roller coaster ride.
But James almost didn't have that chance if it weren't for what his parents call a fortunate mistake. The Texas hospital where James was born would not attempt life-saving measures prior to 23 weeks gestation. James was 22 weeks, 6 days.
The day that the doctor admitted me, she made an error by 1 day of his gestation.
The Eps say if the hospital had known the truth, they would have wrapped James up, given him comfort care, and allowed the couple to hold him for as long as he held on.
And we didn't realize at the time how important that 1 day was, but it ultimately saved his life.
A recent article in the New England Journal of Medicine looked at survival rates and hospital cutoff policies, which vary across the country, anywhere from 22 to 25 weeks.
It's a very important area.
NICU department head Dr. Bill Walsh says Vanderbilt Children's Hospital doesn't have a firm cutoff, but that the data is indisputable. Babies just can't survive under 22 weeks for one key reason.
Because the lung doesn't exist before 22 weeks.
Still, the recent New England Journal of Medicine article prompted Walsh to rewrite Vanderbilt's policy.
I think the families need to know that they have a say.
Whoa.
He lights up every part of our lives now.
Allison and Andy Epps can't imagine life without their son, who suffers from asthma and limited lung capacity.
He's just pure joy.
They want to see all hospital policies changed, especially, they say, since predicting gestational age is not an exact science.
I know that they can't try to save every single baby, but I wish that they would look at the baby when it's born and see if they have the potential for life, and then decide, yeah, we can give them a chance.
To read the study in its entirety, go to our website, WSMV.com. Researchers haven't pinpointed one single cause of autism, but they are making progress toward the most debilitating symptoms. One program showing promising results is using robots to teach human emotions.
I want to play with you. Let's play.
It's an utterly ironic finding.
Kids are naturally drawn to robots and the technology behind these robots.
Robots may be just what the doctor ordered for children with autism, capturing their attention and teaching them social skills.
And once they learn some skills, our hope is that they will be able to respond to human therapies.
At a recent behind-the-scenes program at Vanderbilt's Kennedy Center, autism experts and the engineers they collaborated with presented their latest research on how robots can help children communicate.
And that is so reinforcing for families who might use the robot to help teach their child to respond when their name is called, or to smile with a shared activity. These may sound like very basic behaviors, but they're really the building blocks of what makes us social and what makes us human.
Dr. Elizabeth Dykens is one of the center's 220 researchers and clinicians helping those with intellectual and developmental disabilities lead fuller lives. Studying and creating interventions and programs, publishing the information in journals, and sharing it with those who need it most, professionals, policymakers, and families.
This outstanding program
Who want to give their children a brighter future.
What a wonderful story.
John Schaus's son was diagnosed with autism at age 2. He calls the Kennedy Center family.
This place has opened doors to us that we didn't know how to get through.
Next, treating Parkinson's disease with hip-shaking, finger-snapping fun, and the new research proving it's time to get moving. Plus, can this cap help chemo patients keep their hair? And later, why this woman says she can't wait for her next colonoscopy. The simple test that led to her very first one, which could have been her last. When Healthy for Life Summer Reboot returns. Slowness, stiffness, and balance issues are all challenges of Parkinson's disease. New research is revealing how exercise of any kind can dramatically improve all three and more. We followed a group of Middle Tennesseans taking that research straight to the dance floor. Here we go. When it comes to exercise, Steve Cronin of Franklin is the poster child of Parkinson's patients. The 28-plus-year retired Army veteran works out at home, does cardio at the gym, and shares his sweet moves with others in Dance for Parkinson's classes twice a week.
There's a social aspect, there's a physical, strength, stability, and stamina, balance.
Cronin knows firsthand what a massive national study is confirming, that exercise of any kind slows the progression of Parkinson's.
The group of patients that have regular exercise, nothing specific about what kind, seem to have slower disease progression. They have more stable cognitive functions. They're less memory loss over time.
So we've got this ballpark number of 2.5 hours of exercise per week seems to make a big difference.
Kelly Arney is outreach coordinator for the National Parkinson's Foundation Center for Excellence at Vanderbilt.
Even people that are having balance issues, there's something about the music, there's something about the movement, and so some people that have balance issues in walking can actually get up and dance.
Her job is to help patients understand their diagnosis and then lead them to the programs and support available, whether or not they're a Vanderbilt patient. Arnie says there's something especially powerful about the combination of music and movement for Parkinson's patients.
Music, it can make people feel happy, and when we feel happy, we increase our dopamine production, and which is what someone with Parkinson's is not producing enough of.
The music and hand movements helps you with your, brain to memorize what the order of things are.
As for Cronin, he says the emotional connection and commitment to group classes keeps him coming back.
It's just fun.
To learn more about the National Parkinson's Disease Registry Study or for more information on classes, go to our website. For people with certain medical or physical challenges, something as simple as sitting or lying down can be difficult. They have a hard time getting comfortable. There's a place in Tennessee tackling those challenges.
Now go this way. Just gentle, 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 gentle.
Deborah Poirer directs,
beautiful,
tweaks.
How does that feel?
And tinkers, whatever it takes to make her clients more comfortable.
I'm doing forward and back. How does that feel?
Poirer is the director of seating and positioning services for the state of Tennessee. She's seen how the right equipment,
it's all customized for the individual,
makes everyday miracles happen.
So we've seen massive changes in people by using their alternative positioning. And for somebody like Ty, to be able to drive independently, that's amazing. So if you imagine going through life having to have somebody push you all day long every day and having to ask somebody to take you, to suddenly being able to drive in your home, that's an amazing independence for somebody.
Today, she's fine-tuning Ty Jordan's electric wheelchair.
So the only thing we need to do then is reinforce this with a metal bracket.
The fact he's in it at all is something doctors say couldn't be done.
The doctor said that because he didn't drive with his hands that he wouldn't be able to drive. And then, so Ty fired his doctor and found a doctor that would support his goals.
Now, the DIDD has a goal of its own, a mobile clinic to take their services to those who need it.
A lot of people who actually either don't have a chair and can't get here or don't have transportation. And so for us to be able to go to some of those people will be amazing.
Governor Bill Haslam gave the DIDD a high-profile shout-out in his last State of the State address, asking for funding. He said, the joy, support, and relief that this state service provides, if it doesn't inspire you, then check your pulse. That mention, Poirer hopes, will help push the project forward and make even more miracles happen.
If I could say something right now, I would say, you see this? I can do this.
To contact the Seating and Positioning Clinic, go to our website, WSMV.com. Next, the European solution to keeping your hair during chemo. Why this Franklin mom said she's proof it works. Plus, why researchers need you to help test a promising new treatment for one of the most common forms of cancer. And migraine relief might be right in the palm of your hands. When Healthy for Life Summer Reboot continues. A product used in Europe for decades is helping women undergoing chemotherapy keep their hair. It worked so well for a Franklin woman battling cancer, she started a business helping others. Her product is called the Chill Cap, and 90% of patients report keeping their hair. In August of 2014, 37-year-old Lindsay King of Franklin had a routine mammogram. The divorced mother of 4 was diagnosed with breast cancer.
And the first thing came to my mind was, am I going to die? The second thing was, am I going to lose my hair? With 4 young children, that was the first question they asked me. You know, when you don't have hair, you look sick.
She started to research custom wigs when she stumbled upon something better.
Came across an acquaintance who had used a chill cap, a cold cap, and it saved her hair. And so I thought I would give it a try.
Used in Europe for 20 years, the gel-filled caps work by freezing the capillaries in the scalp during chemo infusions. She placed an order.
It was a huge leap of faith.
The results were astounding.
And kept all of my hair.
Lindsay's longtime friend, Betsy Wynn, was often at her side for doctor's appointments. She said heads started turning when a few months in, people saw Lindsay's full head of hair.
It was amazing to see what a buzz it caused.
No one believed that I had just finished chemo and still had my hair. I had some thinning, but no hair loss whatsoever.
Here's how the chill caps work.
3 pounds.
3 pounds, and we just put it on like
a shower cap.
A set of 6 caps, which you'll alternate every 30 minutes, is kept frozen in a cooler, which patients bring to chemo infusions.
When it freezes the capillaries, it constricts the blood vessels. And then the hair follicle obviously constricts, and the chemotherapy drug can't get into the hair follicle and then kill the hair follicle, which makes the hair fall out.
Lindsay's results were so compelling, the 2 moms wanted to tell the world.
The doctors and nurses were amazed, and everybody was so fascinated. We said, why don't we let this be known? Let's start this. Let's tell people about it.
They found an investor and launched their company, ChemoChillCap.com. They already have several patients, have partnered with the Komen Foundation, and hope to help as many people as possible.
But it's for men, women, all kinds of cancer, except
all
for
ages.
All ages. I mean, we're here to help.
Patients pay a monthly fee of $350 for a set of 6 chill caps. Patients report feeling brain freeze for the first 5 minutes of treatment. Chill caps are not recommended for patients fighting leukemia, lymphoma, melanoma, or brain cancer. Researchers at Vanderbilt are testing a new form of immunotherapy to treat non-Hodgkin lymphoma, one of the most common forms of cancer. It uses a patient's own cells and immune system, and the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center is the first in Tennessee to use it as part of a clinical trial.
And this is the stem cells.
You're looking at one of the newest weapons to fight non-Hodgkin lymphoma.
And then I'm going to put it in this bag to thaw.
Stem cells, or T cells, taken from a sick patient and sent to a special manufacturing facility.
And it's going to go in this water bath.
The cells are re-engineered to produce special receptors on their surface, then injected back into the patient's own body with one mission: kill cancer cells.
With chemotherapy, it is not really targeted. It goes everywhere. We have to treat patients for many months before we know that it is working. But with this, it's more targeted. These immune cells, they go exactly after what we expect them to go after.
Dr. Alalakin Aluwali at the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center is leading the trial called Zuma-1.
The immune system has a lot of qualities that we can use to fight cancer.
He's currently treating his first patient with non-Hodgkin lymphoma.
This white part is the lymphoma that this patient had.
The therapy requires careful observation.
It's white hot, showing that it's a very actively growing lymphoma.
The side effects are serious.
And we need to monitor them closely in the hospital while the immune system goes after the cancer, because they can get sick, because they will have fevers, and the type of things you see in somebody with a severe infection.
If the trial proves the therapy works, researchers plan to extend it to other cancers as well. The trial is open to patients whose diseases have progressed despite previous therapies. To learn more about the Zuma-1 trial, go to our website. A common birth defect no longer requires open heart surgery. Meet the Nashville specialist giving new life to patients here and around the world. Plus, this Nashville executive's joyful attitude toward an often awkward but life-saving annual procedure. And later, do you struggle with migraines? The soothing benefits of an ancient Indian treatment. The warning signs of colon cancer are often difficult to discuss. One Middle Tennessee woman isn't shying away from the subject after what she calls an age-appropriate colonoscopy revealed she had stage 1 colon cancer. Her symptoms were around for a good 6 months: bleeding, night sweats, severe abdominal pain.
For me, it felt like I was having a baby again.
But Jenny Barnes wrote them off as the stuff you simply deal with at a certain age.
I didn't put the pieces together.
It was stage 1 colon cancer. doctors moved fast.
They got me into surgery very quickly. 2 weeks later, I had the surgery. 6 weeks later, I was cancer-free.
Today, Barnes is shouting her message from the mountaintops.
Early diagnosis is the key.
And so is this simple test.
You put this in your stool in your toilet, and it will identify if there's blood there, which indicates something. It may not be cancer. It could be a hernia, it could be an ulcer, you could have colitis, but it gives you the fact that you have something and you need to go take that next step.
It's an idea Barnes loves almost as much as she loves her now regular colonoscopy, which she joyfully calls a cleanse.
Get everything out, get clean, and so I actually look forward to it now. That sounds sick, but I do look forward to it now.
Doctors are seeing a decrease of colon cancer diagnoses for people in their 50s and beyond, but they're seeing an increase for people in their 30s and 40s. For a list of risk factors and warning signs, head to our website, WSMV.com. Being born with a hole in your heart is a common birth defect, but if left untreated, it can lead to heart failure and early death. It used to require intensive open heart surgery, but now it can be done through a tiny incision, and only a few specialists in the country can perform it. 21-year-old Cecia was born with a hole in her heart. She's felt short of breath for as long as she can remember. But as she got older, the athlete who once loved to run felt tired all the time.
The doctor said that it also can cause some depression. It was really hard for me, but I have to pretend that I was like normal.
Doctors in Honduras said she was too old for surgery.
At first, I thought that God was punishing me.
Until recently, when a group of men from a Franklin church were wrapping up their annual mission trip to Cecia's town and asked leaders what they needed next.
We said, anything else we could do to help you now while we're here? And they said, well, Antonio's daughter has a hole in her heart. Is there any way you can get some help to get that fixed? Been down there a dozen times, and nobody ever asked us to help in this way, so it was quite an opportunity for us.
So Steve Meek started making calls, and Dr. Mark Stankiewicz at Nashville's St. Thomas Hospital answered.
All of us are very lucky and blessed, and that it's up to all of us to give back to the community in some way.
The cardiologist is one of a select few in the country who can perform a procedure that's revolutionizing heart repair. What used to require opening the chest, an extensive hospital stay, and arduous recovery can now be done through a small incision near the groin.
Basically, what we can do is go in through a small tube through the vein, go up with a wire through the hole, and then slide a device up there that closes it without having to open the chest.
The St. Thomas Foundation paid to fly Cecia and her mother to Tennessee for surgery. Dr. Stankiewicz and staff donated their time and expertise.
Hello, how are you?
The Meeks had the mother and daughter stay in their Franklin home. Just 1 week after surgery, Cecia was back at St. Thomas for a checkup.
Feeling better.
Feel like running.
And was cleared to go home.
I couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better.
Like you? He wasn't punishing me. He wanted me to be healthy. And he wanted me to meet new people, to make new friends, to discover this whole new world. I really thank you for doing this for me.
The St. Thomas Health Foundation covered the cost of everything, including medication, 6 months after surgery. To learn more about the foundation, go to our website. Up next, could this ancient treatment be a cure to modern stress? Come along for an Indian scalp massage. One of the growing trends in wellness is self-care, investing in ways that enhance your personal health and well-being. It's what the Tennessee Fitness Spa is all about. One Nashville native found it studying the ancient Indian art Ayurveda, and a few years ago brought it back to her hometown. Inside her Sylvan Park studio, Megan Kipp spends her day helping others feel better.
You just put a few drops of cedarwood or lavender on the top of the head.
Today, the yoga instructor and massage therapist is practicing Indian scalp massage, an ancient Ayurvedic treatment that uses infused oils on the head, face, neck, and top of the shoulders.
To calm the body, calm the nervous system, calm the muscles in the face, any eye strain, calming tension in the back of the head that causes headaches or neck strain from focusing forward. Once this gets relaxed, it provides the rest of the body to be able to relax a little bit.
The oils are later combed through the hair, which Kip says nourishes the scalp and helps reduce stress.
It's a embalmed feeling, almost having the oil on your head.
Clients say the hour-long treatment helps ward off anxiety, depression, insomnia, even migraines.
With the Indian scalp massage, it really releases tension from your head, your scalp area, your neck and back area.
For 3 years now, 44-year-old Shauna Bryan has invested in Indian scalp massages once a month.
In order to help other people be well, then I must walk the walk myself.
The corporate wellness educator says she's seldom, if ever, out sick and considers self-care practices as critical as eating well and exercising.
It is a big investment, but really, in this day and time, you need to be your own health advocate. Being healthy, you have to really invest time and money in yourself and getting yourself well and less stressed so that you stay healthier for life.
Thanks for watching this special Healthy for Life summer reboot from the Tennessee Fitness Spa. Remember, we're not guaranteed tomorrow, so let's do whatever we can to be healthy for life. I'm Tracy Cornett. We'll see you next time.